All right. Let's get it started. All right, I think we are live now, right? So let me know if the sound is good. Just say 589. That way I know the sound is perfect. If not, just put a 0.71 or 0.61 actually, right? All right. All right, DJ 589. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. So the sound is good. So in today's content, now we'll review once again BTC on a macro scale. We'll take a look at BTC, on on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, 3D time frame, and all that good stuff, and what type of a directional move we could expect over the next like a few months going forward. Okay, we'll take a look at the total too, right? Actually, total market cap, not total two, right? Total market cap, right? We'll take a look at the total market cap and try to figure out the directional move over the next few months and all that good stuff. Okay, so now let's start off with the quarterly basis once again, because the quarterly basis is pretty straightforward, right? If we get any sort of high volatility over the next like a few few quarters, we could just anticipate the quarterly 21 EMA to support the price, and we could be looking for some sideways correction just about the quarterly 21 EMA. Okay, we don't know how long it'll take to retest it. Will it retest it this quarter, next quarter, Q3? We don't know. In Q1 2023, we just don't know. Okay, but the directional move as of now on the quarterly basis hasn't changed yet, and we talk about it since 2021. After the first retest of the 30k, we said it could take few quarters to break below the 30k support. As you can see right here, the last quarter of the last quarter of the 2017 bull market right here, it took nearly 4 quarters to retest the lows right here. Okay, so that's the same analogy I used right back then, and I was like, okay, you take a look at the first quarter, right? The second quarter of 2019, right? It took like 3 quarters to retest it, right? And it was only 1 quarter pump, right? This one was like a nearly 4 quarter pump, right? So it makes sense, like it is taking like nearly 5-6 quarters just to stay to build a strong solid support area. Okay, on a low degree it could be very choppy. You might be looking for some moving averages, looking for resistances and supports and all that good stuff. But if you take a look at it on the high degree, it is pretty straightforward. You got your macro resistance 65k based on closing basis, right? Actually 57k based on closing basis, right? 57.58, and you got your macro support at 28.5. right here we close at candle close, right here we open at 28.990. okay, something like that. Okay, 28.990. so just about like a 29k. Okay, so pretty straightforward. The problem is we just don't know how long on the high time frame, right, it'll take to retest the quarterly 21 if we're going to get there. Okay, that's the ultimate challenge. Okay, so now on the quarterly basis, one thing we just want to point out is like the volume, it is still low, right, on the high time frame, and last quarter volume was right around like that's Coinbase, right here. Let's take a look at 1.5 million, right? We got 1.5 million last quarter, meaning like the first 3 months of the year, and right here we only got like 400,000 right now. So we only got less than 30% of last last quarterly volume. So we need like 1.1 million volume in terms of BTC, not dollar, right? 1.1 million BTC trading volume over the next like a couple of months, you know, till next quarter, before we basically match last quarterly volume right here. The biggest volume we got so far in terms of selling pressure was back in 2017, right? January, the first quarter of 2017, we got like nearly 2 million trading volume. Okay, right here we got like 1.98 trading volume in terms of selling pressure, so pretty comparable. Okay, so I'm not sure if we're going to get this type of a big volume right there, like a 2 million trading volume on a quarterly basis, but who knows. Okay, if it is going to be dumping in the same quarter below the quarterly 21, probably yes. Okay, but we will see. Okay, we will see how it goes, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a monthly basis. So on a month, hey, what's up? Quiet Cook in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Jenko Gold 589 in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. SLY Anthony, thanks a lot for tuning in. Quiet Cook, cooking some ether in the kitchen, right? So on a monthly basis, our analysis regarding the monthly basis, it is still spot on. Okay, we talked about the monthly 21 EMA. That was the most important moving average on a monthly basis, beside the next moving average support at the 50 EMA right here. So I'm just gonna have to repeat it just in case you are pretty new to our channel. We talked about the monthly 21 EMA when BTC was above like a 55, something like that. We said 35 support back then. The monthly 21 EMA was just about like a 36. So we were covering the monthly 21 down to the weekly 100 EMA, and both targets got hit, right? So what we're looking at right now is like, in terms of the monthly, we did not want to close below the monthly 21, and we closed below it. Okay, even though it created some sort of a high lows, but you just got to be very cautious, because high lows, right, it can work. Okay, it can work, but you just have to determine your directional move. Okay, if your directional macro move, it is still downward, right, your high low doesn't matter. You can make high lows in terms of a wedge pattern and still capitulate down. You see what I'm saying? And still dump. That's the only downside with high lows. So that's why I don't basically pay attention to high low that much, right? But sometimes I do. Okay, if the macro directional is up, yes, I pay attention to it, right? So something like that, right? So we don't want to basically stay below the monthly 21. If we break the monthly 21, our next macro support in terms of the monthly, right, first support going to be at the monthly 50. So if you're not watching and you're just listening, right, the monthly 50 as of now, May 2nd 2022, it is at 26.1k. all right? So that's the only thing we need to that's the main thing we got to remember on the on a monthly basis. We already talked about in multiple live stream regarding the bearish divergence, right, and the negative crossover. You got it right here, on your RSI. You're still making low lows on your RSI, right? Price action is making high lows. It is a hidden bullish divergence, but we just have to be cautious, because I showed you last time, like hey, just because you're anticipating a hidden bullish divergence, right, on a monthly basis, doesn't mean it will play out, because it never played out actually. Okay, in 2014 we had one right here. We did have a hidden bullish divergence. We still ended up dumping down to the monthly 50, right? Your RSI was making lower lows, price action was still making high lows, so we still ended up dumping lower, but RSI remained flat. Okay, so you take a look at it right here. At some point, RSI was making low lows, price action was flat, right, and we still ended up dumping below the monthly 50 EMA and all that good stuff. Basically retested the monthly 50 EMA, right? So that's one of the reasons why I'm not really focusing on the hidden bullish divergence. I'm not saying, once again, it won't, you know, it is it's not going to play out. That's not the topic. All I'm saying is, you know, the macro directional move, it is still, you know, it is still to the downside and all that good stuff, right? Regardless if we're going to get a short-term pump and all that good stuff, right? But just want to focus on the macro view. So the 3 weeks time frame, we talk about the 3 weeks time frame since January. We said our 21 EMA on a 3 weeks basis, right, going to give us a tough time, right, to stay above it. As you can see right here, back in May, June, July, we talk about it, guys. I kept saying buy the dip at 30k, buy the dip at 30k. Don't worry about retesting the monthly 50. If it does, great. We're going to reaccumulate, because back then I was saying, okay, this dump right here, right, the May dump, I mean actually the June dump could retest the monthly 21, but we missed it like by right here it was somewhere around like a 26k, right? So I was like, okay, no need to be waiting for 26 when price action is at 28. Okay, that's just, I saw many people waiting for like a 20, like a 24k, something like that, and I was like, okay, good luck. It can retest it, but let's not take the chance. If we can reaccumulate between 28 30k, we could be looking for our move up to a 50% to 0.618, and guess what we got? We got the the whole 9 yards all the way up to 65k, right? 69k, right? So something to remember on the 3 weeks basis. We below the 21 yen, and that's not good. And most of you guys know, most of my top formation on the 3D is based on what? MACD flipping negative and price action staying on below the your 21 EMA on the 3D. So that same setup, okay, can be applied, right, even on a monthly basis or even on your 3 weeks basis. Okay, price action pumps, right, and dump and pump and does something like that, and your moving average is going to be somewhere around here, right, your 21 EMA, something like that. Your 21 EMA going to be, price action going to be trading below the 21 EMA. You're going to get a move down, most likely. Okay, most likely you're going to get a move down, and we've been basically nailing all these top formation just like that. Okay, 3D, let me show you a very good example if you are new to our content, right? Show you a very good example. Okay, I mean we can use it on BTC itself, right here. Okay, right there. So wedge pattern, right, price action below your 21 EMA, MACD remained negative right here. What we said, be cautious, guys, be cautious. Okay, it could be a top formation. Macroly it is still bullish, but this is a top formation right here. Same exact setup. What we said, we below the 3D 21, right, open and close below it. MACD was still negative for like 2-3 weeks, giving us a warning. What I said, get out. Let's just get out. If we break below 52.7, that is it. Okay, that is it. We could be dumping all the way down to our monthly 21. So, and BTC was at 55. We were calling for 35. Okay, that was a big move. Ether was at just about like a 4100 range. We were calling for monthly 21 EMA retest at the same time. So both of them dumped like 40-50%. Okay, so now if we go back to the 3 weeks time frame, right, it is the same analogy. Okay, same exact setup. Okay, just different time frame. Your MACD is negative, price action is below the 3D 21. It is creating a bear flag. Okay, so that's not good at all. So if you take a look at it right here, back in 2018, you got your price action dumping at around the 21 EMA, making a bear flag. What happened to the 21? What happened to your MACD? Still negative. Okay, still negative. So that's why we capitulated down. You could look at it in terms of wave analysis, right, and say, hey, we did have some sort of a Elliott wave structure. You can even look at it in terms of wave structure in on a monthly basis. The only thing you could do is just say, hey, we got a descending triangle. But if you take a look at it on 3D weekly, yes, you could draw all those WXY corrections, right? So very important. As long as our MACD on a 3 weeks basis up to a monthly basis is pointing down, we're most likely not going to see a macro bull run. It doesn't mean we cannot basically pump like 50%, 20%, 30%, and all that good stuff. But what I'm saying is, based on our MACD, our directional move as of now, it is still going to be down. If you take a look at it right here, really after we got back above the 21 EMA, right, and MACD was bullish right here on a 3 weeks basis, guess what happened? We pumped all the way up to 69K, right? So, and right here, what we said, we were bullish, okay? Right after we broke out above 11.5, we said, let's not mess with it right now. We in a bull run, okay? So if you take a look at it right here, back in 2019, right after the 3 weeks time frame pumps above the 21 EMA, we pumped, okay? We get to like a 57 and pump all the way up to like a 14K. And if you guys recall, I was calling for 14K back then, saying like 14K is 14K is the easiest target to hit, okay? But that's going to be a different topic, okay? And the only reason for that, I was targeting the closing basis right here, because no candle closed above 14K, right, on a monthly basis back in 2017. So these are little details, right? It makes a big difference, okay? Take a look at it right here, the 2017 bull market. Even though we pump above 18K, 19K, candle did not close, okay, above like a 14K. It closed like above like just about like a 13,888. And right here back in 2019, right, guess what? We hit 13,888 exactly right there, same exact price. And right there, right, as soon as we close above 13.5, I was like, this is it, okay? Zero resistance. We're not going to get any resistance, okay? So, and the move right here is actually, you could even look at it as a one-to-one extension of the the previous from the previous support right here, okay? If you extend it right there, it is nearly one-to-one extension. You could even basically targeted BTC to hit like a 55, 60K just based on the this setup right here. That's how we targeted like BNB to hit like $500, $600, and all that good stuff based on the closing basis, right? But that's a different topic, okay? So the main thing to remember as of now is like just to get busy buying the dips, right? Even though the macro directional move, it is still down, you're not going to make great profits right after BTC breaks above all-time high, okay? It can pump like 2x, 3x, but you're not looking for 100% move. You're not looking for 200% move. You're looking for 5, 10, 20, 30x. And in order to get those moves, you got to stay, you got to start like buying at the monthly 21 all the way down to the monthly 50. That's the best range to be buying at. If you take a look at it right here, that's the best range to be buying right there. You're not going to get the perfect bottom, but you're going to get a good average, right? If you not financial advice, but if you want to buy at 69, great. But the best time to buy BTC, really, it is right here between the monthly 21 and monthly 50, okay? Because you're looking at the macro view. You're not looking at to buy BTC like every hour. You're not trading the hourly time frame and all that good stuff, right? You take a look at it right here between 21 and 50, and I said it multiple times, right? 21, 50, okay? So 21 and 50 going to be right here, okay? If you enter that 35K when we said it, right, now you got the monthly 50 EMA right around like 26. Could it drop lower? I mean, it could, okay? We can control the volatility, but all we're saying is like it is a great spot to be positioning before we hit all-time high. Because once we hit all-time high, BTC will not do anything. It can pump like probably 2x, 3x, right? And pump all the way up to 180, right? But if you accumulate some BTC, not financial advice, right? if you accumulate some BTC between this range, right, as low as the monthly 50, and as soon as BTC pumps above all-time high, right, you could be accumulating alt after that. Basically, you know, whatever BTC you hold, I mean, I hold, right, let's say I accumulate like 1 BTC right here, okay, just to give you guys an example, okay. If BTC pumps above, like, let's say 69, 70K, I might take my BTC and put it into XRP, or like put it into Dogecoin, or put it into ADA, whatever I want to put it into, right? And that coin can 10x, right? So BTC will give you a nice 4x, right? And after that, that coin going to give you another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x, right? So you know, you're getting your 4x right here, 3x, whatever, 3x, 4x, and after that you get another 10x on top of that, probably, okay. Most alt will pump after BTC breaks above all-time high, not you know, not like you know, they're going to be going 100x while BTC is below the monthly 21. Some alt will, right, but I would say like 95%, 98% of the alt won't. So there is no need to be looking for that small 2% alt, right, that will be breaking out against BTC. No need to be spending too much energy, right? Looking for those alt, right? So basically, that is it for the monthly and 3 weeks time frame. Now let's move on to the 3D time frame. So on the 3D basis, I know most of you guys are watching the dev cross, right? That's our 200 MA, right here. But I think I can use my 21 EMA also, right? Because let's you guys waiting for the 50. Yeah, you can wait for the 50, but the 50 crossing the 200, right? But right here, you know, if you take a look at, right, you know, we capitulated right after the dev cross came after we capitulated. Okay, if you take a look at right here, right, the BTC price was right around like a 4K, right? But we capitulated right at the crossover of the 21 EMA, right, on the 3D basis, crossing the 200 EMA, the white line. That's when we capitulated. Right here we capitulated, okay, right here before the even like before the 211 EMA, try to cross the 200 MA. And I keep saying, like, this type of rejection right here, most of the time it is a very powerful rejection regardless of the direction. So we could be looking for a potential move right here. So most people might be waiting for the capitulation right there, but the dev cross could be after the capitulation. Do you see what I'm saying? So most of the time after a dev cross you get a reversal. Okay, most of the time after a dev cross you're going to get a long period of reaccumulation, and that reaccumulation phase could be at the monthly 21, monthly 50, excuse me. Okay, monthly 50 right here. So I'm personally using the 50 EMA, right? But if you're comfortable, right, you could use your 50 MA, I mean SMA, right? Right, so you're going to get a good buffer right here, right, between 20 on Coinbase it is at 26, right, 26.1, and the 50 SMA it is right around 20.6. so you got a nice you know, 20% buffer, right, depending on volatility, right? Because you got to remember, after we dump right here, you know, it pumped back up nearly, you know, 73% in the same month. So, you know, the volatility could be very high if, you know, we dump below the 21 EMA, right? You take a look at it right here, it pumped back up nearly 30% after we hit the, you know, 21 EMA, the 50 EMA, right here, okay? So no need to be picking bottoms, right? Looking for the exact price. I think, like, you know, on average 25K is, you know, is a good number. 23, right, 25, whatever. Okay, anything below it could be just a temporary steal. Right, so now we're done with the 3D dev cross, right? So be cautious looking for the dev cross, right, trying to be bearish after the after the after the death cross, because after the death cross it could be, it could be done, the move could be done, right? Something to remember going forward, right? So we should get high volatility over the next like a few days, right? This week or next week. And by the way, okay, the 3 weeks time frame, we will get a new 3 weeks candle on the 7th. Okay, in 4 days we will get a new 3 weeks candle. So remember right here, right, we got our 3 weeks candle on the 7th, May 7th, and that candle dumped us all the way down to our our 3 weeks 21 EMA. Okay, so could we dump like down to the 3 weeks 100 EMA? That's possible. That 3 weeks 100 EMA, it is right around 21k, right? 22k. Yeah, it is right around like 21.5. And remember, we just talked about the monthly 50 MA, which is at 20.6. So that's why I'm saying, like, it really doesn't matter, looking for the exact number, because it is a good buffer, right? Hopefully it makes sense, because I know Leroy will be looking for the the very last price. Hey, what's up, Jude Moonboy XRP? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. XRP 589. Hamza, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Hamza is saying, hey, send Eid Mubarak. Thanks a lot. Hey, what's up, Phipps? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. We got Phipps, we got Double DJ in the house. Cannibal Wife in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. All right, so guys, if you have any question, right, regarding BTC, let me know before I move forward on a daily basis, right? All right. Hey, what's up, John Doe in the house? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. John Doe, Moon Boy. All right. So I guess most of you guys pretty ready, okay? So the macro view, guys, I keep saying it. If you if you're looking to be in crypto for the next like a few years, you got to pay attention to the macro view, not just the hourly basis and all that good stuff. Okay, don't mix your short-term trading with your macro view and all that good stuff, right? So the macro view will help you a lot, right, to even like determine your short-term trading directional moves. Okay, because for instance, if we expecting like the 3 weeks time frame to open, the 3 weeks cycle to open like in 4 or 5 days, and we still below our three weeks to 1 EMA, you don't want to be risking like longing BTC. I'm not saying it cannot pump, but the probability of the directional move to continue, right, it is pretty high. So don't need to basically take any risk. Okay, so knowing what's going on with the macro view is very important. So if you guys recall back in 2020, after we broke out above 11.7, all I was saying is buy. Okay, that's what I was saying. No shorting, no selling, none of that good stuff. And we've seen like many alt that pump like 10, 20, 30, 40x, okay, after BTC broke out above the all-time high, even before the breakout above all-time high the first week of November. Okay, most alt bottomed. Okay, so it is very important, and the best time once again to buy BTC, it is the blue box. Okay, that's the best time to be buying BTC. That's the best time to be buying BTC. Okay, and you're guaranteeing yourself to make 10x at least, right? Buying at the monthly 21. So averaging below the monthly 21, right, will increase probability, okay, of even making higher percentage gains, right, over the next like a few years. Take a look at it right here. If you bought BTC at 6K at the monthly 21, you're looking at what? Over 1100%, right? If you go back to, 2014, even if you bought BTC at the monthly 21 right here at the top, assuming like, okay, you didn't care about the dump, you still made a 50x move. Okay, so I would say like, next bull run, because of the diminishing return, you could get a, let's say 3 to 5x, right, move after the from the monthly 21 EMA. Okay. Maybe quite could. Maybe your like button got wrecked. That's why it is only showing one button. Kevin Coleman, thanks a lot for tuning in, Kevin. Yeah, it is showing like 11 on me, but it is saying like 18 watching. So I know Jude like button got wrecked, so because he's still waiting for XRP 589. But we will get there. Okay, it is just a matter of time. So let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a daily basis, right? So we can move on quickly to Ether and the rest of the alt. That way I can get a complete analysis today. So Ether, we've been killing it, right? If you've been following our channel over the last 2 years, right, we've been killing Ether. Okay, we've been killing Ether since like 2019. Ether, we said get out right here, wait for it to retest the 80. It pumped back up to 80. It pumped back up to like a 250. We took it down to like a, $80 again, and after it broke out above like a 350, 410, what we said, don't short it. Okay, don't short it, just stay with the macro trend, because we could be going much high. Okay, so Ether, the directional trend, even though we staying still above the 21 EMA, as I just showed you, right? MACD is negative, price action, it is still above the 21 EMA, but it could drop below the 21 EMA, and if it drops below the 21 EMA, that could be pretty significant. Okay, we don't have enough history of the monthly 50 EMA, but we could give it a shot over the next like a few weeks, few months, depending on where it is going to be at, right, to support the price. And we will see after that if we will get a strong support, because once again, we might not get a V-shaped recovery. Okay, it could stay, if it retested at all, it could stay there for like a quarter. We don't know. Okay, we just speculating for now. Okay, so but if we break below the monthly 21 EMA, we could be looking for the July lows, right here, that triple bottom right around like a 1700 range up to 1900 range. Okay, so for Ether, but let's take a look at it on a 3 weeks basis. So on a 3 weeks basis, as you can see, it looks pretty similar to to BTC. Okay, the 3 weeks is negative. The only difference is like BTC managed to create a double top like that on a 3 weeks basis. Could Ether repeat something like that? That's possible, but it has to prove us wrong. Okay, it has to prove us wrong and flip positive right here, and we could be looking for a potential double top, and that double top could be a wedge pattern. That's the only part, that's the only bullish setup I can find on Ether as of now, right? But the probability of Ether going that high with BTC being below its monthly 21, is very low. Okay, so but we will see. Okay, but as of now, right, let's just stick with the directional move like that, right? We got a bearish divergence, right, on our RSI. MACD is negative, even though it is not, it did not create a negative negative divergence, because remember MACD is slower than your RSI. So sometimes on a high time frame, let's say monthly, 3 weeks, monthly, it is hard to get a divergence on your 3 weeks time frame or your monthly time frame, because you know those time frames are very slow, right? Unless the volatility is crazy, like Ether going 200% up every month, yes, you could get some sort of a bearish divergences like on your MACD after a strong negative crossover. But if we take a look at, if we take a look at it back in 2018, right here, we did not create a divergence. Okay, as you can see right here, after we broke out below the 3 weeks 21, it kept on dumping. Okay, kept on dumping, and you could even say like, hey, we retested the 3 weeks 100 EMA, something like that, right? So the 3 weeks 100 EMA right now, it is at 1200 range, but I don't want to pay attention to it right now. I just want to pay attention to the 1700 range support, and we will see if the move is strong enough. I wouldn't be surprised even if we dump down to that area. Okay, so but who knows, since like we're still staying with the direction, that's the most important. The bad thing is like you're expecting a move to the downside and it goes to the moon. That's a bad thing. But if I'm expecting, like, let's say temporary support at 1700 range and it dumps down to 1200 range, great. You just get a stronger you get a better buy entry. That's it. All right, but the main thing we will focus on is 1700 range. Okay, and let's take a look at Ether in terms of the 25 MA, right, on a weekly basis. So if we take a look at Ether on the 25 MA, right, on a weekly basis, what we sign is like whenever we above it, right, we bullish. Whenever we below it, is in a downtrend. Right here, you can see like after it flipped white, even though we did not get enough history, but was bullish, right? Right here, dump, bearish, bullish right here, all the way up to a 1400 range, dump below it, retested, bearish. Okay, bullish right here after we turn white, bang bang bang. You got the concept. Okay, so now if you take a look at it right here, right, right there, right, we dump below it, slightly red, and then flip back white, right, and then pump all the way up to nearly 4.8k, and now we dump below it. After we dump, we call the dump. Okay, remember back then what I was saying was like, hey, we're not yet below our 25 MA. However, on our 3D basis, right, on our 3D basis, we below our 21 EMA. Okay, right there, we were below our 21 EMA. So based on my 21 EMA top formation, right, I was convinced, okay, Ether will drop. Okay, will drop down to at least 20, 25 pips, and we even said, okay, we could get our monthly 21 EMA retest back then. Okay, and that's exactly what we got. So if we go back to our 25 MA, right, what we did, right, was just we just anticipated this dump, and then it dumped like in in 1 month. Okay, so that's the same moving average. It doesn't matter which time frame you're looking at, right? You can look at it on on a monthly basis, but it will give you the price of your 25 MA, right? So if we but to make it clear for you guys, right, you can see like right here, we dump below it, retested it, dump all the way down to 20 to 100 range at the monthly 21, right, and now created a three-way move to retest it. So all we're doing is retesting it. So until we basically get get price action to pump above it, right here, we're not going to be in a strong bull trend. Okay, it is a very easy strategy, because you got multiple ways to trade the market, right? So you just have to find the easiest the easiest or the most profitable setup or directional trade setup to follow, right? And to use it. Okay, but this one, right, if you don't like technical analysis, it is pretty good. Okay, if you don't like to do anything, you don't like to do fundamental analysis, you don't like to do any TA, you just follow your 25 mm. Okay, if we're going to be in a sideways correction, you could be in trouble because you're going to need other indicators to to help you out to figure out the direction. Like right here, we said we're going down to $80, but your 25 MA won't tell you like we're going to be dumping down to a 25, right? So you can only use it like on the macro view, okay? Not with the short-term trading and all that good stuff. All right, Cannibal Wealth, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Enjoy work. I mean, I would say basically what Phipps is saying, like, hey Sam, should we only holding BTC right now and only buy alt when BTC breaks above all-time high? It is a good strategy, okay? But once again, you don't want to be all in BTC, so because it could create like FOMO. All right, for instance, if a random alt, that a random alt pump like 25%, okay, 50%, okay, 200%, you might be FOMOing. Okay, so the best thing to do is be in BTC, right, in great percentage, like let's say at least 50% or like a 70% or like a 75, 80%, whatever you like. And you be in some Ethereum, let's say 15%, 20%, and then be in alt, okay, like BNB, okay, VChain, whatever you name it, ICP, whatever you want to be. You allocate like 15 to 20% in those alt, something like that, right? But you want to be at least 50% into BTC. That way, when BTC breaks above all-time high, Dogecoin will go crazy. I'm going to show you those charts, but it's not time yet, right, to talk about those macro directional move, those 20, 30, 50x, because the directional move as of now is down. Until we shift, we cannot basically talk about like macro, like for instance, like those coins going like 100x, right? But if you be in BTC, right, until BTC breaks above like let's say even 57k, right, on a monthly basis, we most likely got 80% chance, for instance, to when we get 80% chance to break above like break above all-time high, you're going to be like, okay, now it is time to allocate my BTC into alt. For instance, if you bought, I'm going to use one number for I'm going to use the number 1 for Jude, right? If you use like 1 BTC, right, you bought 1 BTC at 30k, okay, and it dumps down to like a 25k, you'd be like, okay, I don't care, I see you guys at 57k or like a 65k. So as soon as BTC breaks above 65, whatever, right, you'd be like, okay, now I got 65k, okay, I'm gonna dump that 65k into like a few other alt. Like let's say I'm just gonna pick random alt, right? XRP, Dogecoin, BNB, whatever. And those alt, after BTC breaks all-time high, they can give you another 10x. And remember, you only started with what, 30k, right? And you sold your BTC into alt at 60k, right? And those alt goes up, let's say BNB goes up 10x after that, right? So you turn your 60k into 600k. You see what I'm trying to say? Yes, you did not 100x, but you're going up from like a 30k to 60k, 600k, okay? So you get the concept, right? So, but if you want to be looking for like a 100x all the time, yes, you can get them, but that's not easy. Okay, that's not easy. Most people don't get 100x, okay, because you're going to be selling after let's say 10x, right, or like a 25x. You're going to be taking profits, right? Yes, you can stay with the trend the whole 100x pump, but most likely you're going to take some profits after 10x, 20x, 30x, and so on and so forth, right? You get the concept, right? But what I'm trying to say is you got to hold some BTC at all time, okay, until BTC breaks all-time high at least. But I'm not saying to sell all your alt, right, or not buy any alt. You still, you know, got to hold some alt too, but be majority, you know, in majority you want to be in BTC, right? Something like that. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at, we're done with Ether. Let's take a look at BNB. So BNB is giving us a tough time as of now. So BNB on a weekly basis, okay, you can see we talk about like how bad it is, you know, it is to get this type of curvature on your MACD. Okay, so whenever you see this type of curvature, like your MACD curving down, that's not good. Okay, that's not good. So yeah, sometimes they can give you a fake out and reverse. Okay, that's possible. But whenever you see this type of moves, right, especially when market is down, that's not a good sign. Okay, so you take a look at BNB, right? We talk about it like the first week of January. Okay, that's when I updated my premium group and I said we're going down to like a 375, down to even down to like a 337 on average, just about a point, you know, 0.786 right here. Okay, so we consolidated in this range, right, in a three-way move. Remember, you know, a flat correction after a very impulsive move is sometimes a sideways correction, right, giving you a time to think about what you want to do. Okay, so since we got the flat correction right here, we could say, hey, we could be moving down. Could it triple bottom? That's possible, right? That's possible. We could get a triple bottom, you know, triple top and even dump down lower. That's possible. But the only thing we want to look at right now is like, hey, the directional move could be down back to the July lows. Okay, that way we could get our what, our macro double top double bottom right here, just like FTM. We will talk about FTM. We talked about it on Matic when Matic was like around $3. I was telling you guys, I mean, I just don't see how people basically promoting Matic at $3. I was telling you guys, get out. You're not missing out anything. Okay, Matic could go up to like $4, yes, but you know, it could pump 100%, but it could dump 80% too, right? It could, you know, it got a high probability to dump like 80%. So the best thing to do is like to wait, right? If you're trading it on the macro view. We talked about it back in January because, you know, I think December, something like that, because we were looking for Ether to drop down to the monthly 21. So if Ether going to drop 40%, you know, Matic will drop 40% at least, right? So sometimes you just have to be cautious when alt, alt are trading near all-time high, right? Because they look juicy once they start like to test all-time high, and all you want to do is just buy before you miss it, right? Thinking like you're going to miss it. And once we get a proper support right here, we will decide, right, if we're going to get the macro directional move, reversal to the upside up to 1400 and all that good stuff, or if we're just going to move sideways and dump low. Okay, that's possible. Okay, but we will see, right? In order to reverse to the upside, right, it got to break above like let's say 480. Okay, it got to break above 480, because the move right here, let's say if we create a wedge pattern, it could be a wedge pattern, I don't know, right? It could be, but as of now it is a flat correction. Let's say if it wants to create a wedge pattern, that's possible. Okay, that's possible. It's not, we're not saying it has to dump right now. Let's say if it creates a wedge pattern, something like that. Okay, do something like that, that's possible, and still come down. Okay, but BTC will need to allow it to do that. If BTC remains negative, right, meaning like bearish, I don't see like a BNB, right, as of now being positive, okay, being bullish. Okay, but anything can happen. Okay, but if if we see it somewhere around like a 240 to 270, it is a good range to be accumulating, right, for the short-term support, right? And we'll see if we can even reverse or even get down to the 120 to $100, because we talk about like BNB on a macro view. If you take a look at it right here, 83% down, going to take us roughly around like $100. right? Going to take us roughly around $100. Let's take a look at it right here. So I don't know if I'm gonna have time to cover the rest of this alt. Gosh. Let's see BNB. Right here, that's the same one. All right. Let's take a look at BNB. Okay, right here, that's the setup, right? So back in 2018, it pulled back to 83%. 2019, pulled back, 83%. If we pull back down 83%, right, it will be somewhere around like a 120 to $100. Okay, 120 to $100 range. Okay, give or take, right? So to be exact, 114, right? That would give it like 83%, but who knows? Okay, if it will repeat the same correction as it did, during the previous reaccumulation phase. Okay, because we got a macro trend line support. If the move is violent, you could even get it cheaper, right? You could get it cheaper around like a $60, but I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna focus on the short to medium term 240 average support, and we will decide if it can get the job done or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Solana. So Solana, even if we take a look at it on a 3 weeks basis, right? Solana at the same time, it is okay, Solana, it is basically getting rejected from the 3 weeks 21 EMA, and just about the 382, right? It is the support. Okay, 236. Okay, Fibonacci, it is the support area. The excuse me, guys. Yeah, so the 382 Fibonacci going to be somewhere around like a $37. Okay, on the macro view. Okay, so if you take a look at right here on the weekly basis, we just got rejected by the weekly 21, but the volume is is decreasing. Okay, the volume is decreasing, and it created a flat correction right here, right? So let's see if this is going to be a triple bottom, or if it is going to be a regular nice flat correction, and we could be looking for the July support right here. Okay, the 21 EMA back in July. Okay, $35 to $31. MACD, it is still rejecting the crossover, so MACD, it is still pointing down. If it continues to push down, most likely price action will push higher. So in order for this guy to stay bullish, it got to break above like a 140, right? And we could start to look for high prices after that, right? But as of now, bulls not showing up yet. Okay, so these flat correction are pretty powerful. So if you take a look at a CRO USDT, so I think we talked about CRO a couple of days ago, right? Before the breakdown. Okay, and even before then, I was talking about it in my premium when this guy was like, I think somewhere around like $45. Okay, and I was like, just wait, it will hit the 25 mid 20s range. Okay, it created a nice flat correction in a triangular formation, in an internal triangular formation, in a triangular formation. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, like, you got a flat correction, right, printed in a triangular formation, right, like that. So you could look at it internally, right? So, and the move is basically a textbook. Okay, and you take a look at the MACD right here. I keep saying, like, whenever your MACD is crossing down like that, that's not good. Okay, if it's crossing up, that's not good if you're a bear. Okay, something, if it gives you a round trip like that also, right, it is not good if you're a bear. Okay, but it's not good like that if you're a bull. Okay, so temporary support going to be the 22 to 25 cents. That's going to be the 50% pullback. Okay, but CRO is not the one of the topic today, so let's just skip it, right? So next one going to be near, not ear, but near USDT. So near seems like it's near the top, right? You can see, like, right here, we talked about it like a few days ago, right? On a 3D basis, what we said was our MACD is negative, and I showed you guys in our public live stream, not just the premium group, because the premium group, it was a short setup. Okay, so we said, hey, near 3D divergence, right? And you know, price action below the 3D 21 right there, right? It is a you know, it is going down. Okay, it is going down to a 10.5 to a 9.5. So most of you guys watched that public live stream, and we dump all the way down. So if you take a look at it right here, you know, it dumped like 33% in like less than a week. Okay, so so next support, right, going to be the next trend line, the next macro trend line support, right, started since like a November 2020, right there. Okay, right here. So if we break the top formation trend line, right, we could be looking for the macro trend line support somewhere around, like, you know, $6 to a $5 range. Okay, if it breaks this one, if you're comfortable, you could use your Fibonacci to estimate, right, a price range. So 382 going to be at $5, 382 Fibonacci. Okay, but as long as MACD is pointing down, bulls most likely not going to be in control. Okay, so beautiful setup. And we talked about NEAR back in March, late March. Okay, it was one of our, you know, best performing coin. Entered at 10.5, and it pumped all the way up to $20. Did we short it at $20? No, we did not care about shorting it at $20. I saw the top formation, but I just didn't want to basically spend too much energy, right, analyzing the top formation. I just wanted to wait till we get a proper setup, until we you know, get a negative crossover on our 3D. Then we know, you know, with 80 to 90% chance, right, we got to you know, we could be retesting the trend line support right here, and that's exactly what happened. So if you're looking for to short like tops and, you know, long bottoms, you might be waiting forever. That's not the proper way of trading the market, right? Just trade the direction. Don't care about like saying like I shorted at $20, okay, making yourself feel good. Okay, because you might short it at $20 and you might get out, let's say, at $19 or $18, right? And someone might short at below the 3D 21 and basically get a nice 30 to 40% move. Okay, so next one going to be FTM. So FTM, we got a beautiful setup on FTM, guys. Similarly, all right, just like NEAR. Okay, when did we start talking about a FTM? Back in February, the first week of February, guys. We called for the what? The divergence right here on the 3D double top right here. Price action below the 3D 21. That's a bearish setup. Plus, we did have a nice flat correction right here. We said the directional move going to be a flat right here. If we hit like $1, 105, you know, get shorted down to a 105, $1 range, and take it back up to like a 140, 150, and then we even could take it back down to like a, you know, 69 to 73, and that's what happened exactly. Okay, my only concern was like, you know, if, you know, it tries, you know, to pull back up right here, right, and created another one. That was my only concern, but it did not even push back there to that to the resistance area, right? So temporary support, as we said, bang. Okay, next temporary support going to be 55 to 50 cents, right? Could it push higher? Yes, it can push higher. If it pushes higher, right, you got your daily 21 as your primary resistance. As of now, it is at 95 cents. Okay, it could be anywhere between 95, between let's say 90 cents to 95 within the next like a few days. Okay, but that's going to be the primary resistance if it pushed that high. Okay, if it pushes lower, we got the 50 to 55 cents support. Okay, temporary support, right? But it is still, if you shorted it above, like let's say 105 or like a 120, whatever, just have to put a stop loss. And if you took some profits right here, just have to be patient as of now. Okay, all right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Atom. So Atom USDT, so Atom USDT, it basically follows the analysis for FTM. That's why I was following Atom, right? Because Atom is short at the very top. This one I did not even give it a shot to do anything. Okay, back in first week of January at 43. Okay, we were calling for the Atom move all the way down to like a $21, and it hit $21 and pumped back up to $33, just like what Luna did, not what FTM did. Okay, dumped $1 and pumped back up to 1.6. So Atom moved just like FTM. Okay, so we're looking for the July lows within the next like a few weeks, right? So the directional move is still down for Atom, right? All the moving averages on the daily cross negative, right? So you take a look at it on the 3D. We retested the 3D time frame. We retested the 3D all-time high, right, on the 3D time frame, right, of course, and created what, a lower high right here, lower high right there. Okay, it was a very, very straightforward analysis. Okay, so nothing fancy, right? Price action, let me show you FTM. Okay, so FTM, we did not anticipate the double top right here. Okay, we did not anticipate the double top right here, but for Atom, right, we anticipated it, because they both had the same setup, so no need to basically rush to trade both of them, right? So Atom right here retested it like somewhere around like the first week of January. So that's why as soon as FTM dumped below the 3D21, Atom dumped below the 3D21, we started to call for these lower prices. Okay, so for the upside potential, if we get any pushback up, we still got the 3D21 or even the daily 21 is not that far for Atom. Okay, just about like 22. But if we rely on the 3D, right, or the trend line resistance or support, right here could act as a resistance. If the previous support right here was back in started back in March 2020, and you can see, right, so if we push back up, right, that could basically create a resistance again. Okay, so the directional move, right, regardless of the short-term volatility, the directional move for Atom, it is still downward. Okay, until we get a proper reversal setup. Okay, I'm not saying like it cannot push back up, but all I'm saying is the directional move will be down. Okay, right here it pushed back up, right, 60%, but the directional move is still what, down. Okay, so hey, what's up, Strengths in the gym doing some biceps with some 5-pound dumbbells. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. You can't, I don't know if we will get there. It's not guaranteed, but always keep some dry powders, right? We will talk about BNB BNB BTC sometime next quarter. because it is at it is at all-time high, right? So it is still at all-time high. BNB BTC near all-time high. Kevin, hey, what's up, Kevin? Kevin is saying, what's your take on XTZ? I don't know if I'm gonna have time to talk about XTZ, but let's go ahead and take a look at the total market cap right now. So total market cap, we talk about, let's remove this before I scare Leroy. So we talk about a total 2 before, right? But now we're going to talk about a total market cap, right? So total market cap, you might be saying like, oh, the chart of the total market cap is pretty similar to the BTC chart, right? Yes, because BTC is 40% of the total market cap, right? And everything else is like under 20%. That's why BTC is the total market cap is printing the same pattern as BTC, right? So if we take a look at it right here, we did get a nice divergence, right? Just like BTC, right there, right here, and that move was a fat wave structure, right? Plus a divergence. So we said based on the total 2 analysis, right? I was anticipating the total market cap also to dump. Okay, so if we take a look at our Fibonacci, right, we dump just about like a 0.618, just like a total 2. Okay, so the next temporary support based on Fibonacci, right, going to be just about like a 0.888. I would even say like a 0.888 down to all the way down to 100% retracement. Okay, so you would be looking at like, let's say 1.3 to 1.1. okay, 1.3 to 1.1 trillion. All right, 1.3 to 1.1 trillion for the next like a temporary support. Are we going to get a straight dump below it? I don't know. Okay, until we break below the 0.618 Fibonacci, it is going to be hard to tell, just in case it decides to retest the 3D21 somewhere around like a 1.8 trillion again. Okay, but as of now, the it looks like a bear flag, right? It looks like a bear flag in a WXY correction. I know some people are looking for the BTC to go back up to like, let's say 52. That's possible, okay, because it is still in the channel. Okay, it is still in the channel, but historically, when we take a look at BTC on a monthly basis, whenever we break below the monthly basis, we tend to basically capitulate. Could we pump this time before the capitulation? That's possible, okay, but I wouldn't try to fight the trend. You see what I'm saying? Until the trend basically proves me wrong, right? I wouldn't be I'm not going to look for like a a pump to the upside, right? And trying to be a hero and saying like, oh, we called for the pump. That's not my goal. Okay, the goal is to make profits, okay, with the direction of the trend. Okay, that's the goal, not to call for bottoms and tops. Okay, so because even if you call the tops, people are only going to say, oh, you called the top, this is it. Okay, well, what are you winning for calling the top? Okay, nothing. Okay, so but if you call for the direction, that's the most important. Okay, if you take a look at it right here in terms of MACD, we already crossed negative on our 3D. Price action is below the 3D21. Okay, just like what happened right here back in the first week of December. So we spotted the top right there, but did we basically say, hey, 3 trillion is going to be the top and all that good stuff? No, as soon as BTC broke below the 3D21, we said it's time to pack our bags, okay, and we're going to get that big direction. But if you try to look for the exact number and saying like, oh, I called for 70K to be the top, that's not what it's supposed to be, at least for me. Okay, don't look for tops, don't look for bottom. Okay, try to be be in range of the top, but you don't want to be looking for the exact number, because you know you're going to get right, because the exact number could have been somewhere around here, you know, 2.5, right? BTC hitting 65 and dump, something like that, right? But you don't know, okay? But if you have a proper setup of if you have a proper trade setup that you follow, right? Like the 3D MACD crossing below the 3D MACD crossing negative price action below the 3D 21 after a bearish divergence. I mean, you got 95% chance to hit like the top, okay, within like you know, let's say 15 to 20%. Just like Ether, we got out at 4100 range, you know, and you know the top for Ether was like 4800, right? So did we care about that, you know, 25-30% dump? No, you don't care, because you're looking for another 50% dump, right? So hopefully it makes sense. So now let me go ahead and take a look at these charts. Hey Sen, Tariq is saying, hey Sen, are we dipping lower? I mean, yes, just go ahead and watch the analysis so you understand what I'm saying, okay? But I think the directional move, it is still down. Yes, thanks a lot, Jude. Jude is saying like, hey Sam, I see that strategy is good, because if you accumulate BTC, you can always buy it with alt. So if you notice, like during the bull market, what I was saying, alt BTC, we were just analyzing alt BTC, and they were pumping like 5x, 10x, 20x, like FTM, okay? FTM, when FTM was like 50 sats, okay? We talk about FTM, it pumped like all the way up to 7,000 sats. That's crazy, okay? So make sure to always be majority BTC as of now, okay, till we break above all-time high. Most of you guys are, you know, probably used to like this 50% dip anyway, right? So I would rather hold BTC and it dips like 50%, then I hold an alt and it dumps like, let's say 99%. You see what I'm saying? Right, so hey Strengths, I'm not into the NFTs right so far, so maybe later on I will I'm looking at the NFTs right with Satoshi sometimes, Kashaki Satoshi, but I'm not like, you know, 100% into it, right? So Majid, hey San, are we Majid is saying, hey San, what's your opinion on ICP? So ICP, it is still dumping. So my opinion on ICP is like, I wouldn't DCA on it like every 5% drop. Just I would DCA like every 50%, 60% down, okay? ICP. So ICP, so it you know, right here, so ICP, it got a strong resistance right here around like a $37 to $40, okay? So did create an internal flat correction right here. Myself, I was bullish with this you know, flat correction, okay? Even though, okay, it was a bearish pattern, I was thinking like, you know, we could hold support right here just about like a 38, okay, and basically create the triple bottom. So if you notice recently, I've been talking about like flat correction like that and continuation to the path to the downside, right? That's exactly what ICX did right here. So you know, retested the 27 support, right? And basically I was saying like 17 on average going to be the next support, because you just don't want to be DCA in like every year, you know. I don't want to be DCA in like every, you know, 2%, 3%, okay? Got to DCA at least every, you know, 50% to 60%, even 40% is good, right? So if the previous support was like based on closing basis, right, just about like 15.5, so you would be looking for the next like a average support to be somewhere around like a $7 to you know, 7.5. That's going to be a 50% dump. Okay, that's going to be a 50% dump. Okay, So and if not, right, I would just accumulate. You could just, you could also choose to accumulate BTC, right? Okay, you could also choose to accumulate ICX BTC, right? If it dumps like down to 23,000 sats. So it means like instead of buying ICP USD, just buy ICP BTC. Okay, 23,000 to 25,000 going to be the next temporary support. Okay, and you could even basically take some nice swings because it does pump a lot too, right? Like you got 30% pump against BTC right here. Right there, you got a nice 80% pump against BTC. Okay, so could we get a 20 to 30% pump against BTC, or even 50% pump possibly, right? But as of now, the trend, it is still down. Okay, and right here it's down like 94%, right, against BTC right here. Okay, 95% against BTC. So you take a look at it, 22,000 sats, going to be 97%, give or take. Okay, I'm bullish on USDC. A quiet cook cooking some USDC in the kitchen. Let's check VChain. VChain. I like VChain BTC, just like I've been saying over the last few few weeks. Okay, Alt to BTC pair, right? You got to pay attention to them. Okay, if you like VChain, right, look for a support at 100 sats to 90 sats, right? But it means like you got to be holding BTC. Okay, accumulate right here, not go all in, but just accumulate, just in case, right? We do have to retest like these macro supports, right, over the next like a few months or even years, because you don't know when it will form the proper bottom formation. In VChain, as you can see, it likes to whenever we get an out season, right, VChain performs well. Okay, and whenever BTC pumps, also VChain performs well. So right here, back in June 2020, we did get a nice pump, right? VChain pumped like to 240. What we said, get out right here. Okay, that's when we said get out, right? Right here we said also get out right here, just about like 100 sats, right? So reaccumulate right there, right? So if we want to follow the same analogy or same process, right, we could say, hey, the 100 sats to 90 sats is going to be a probably a good support to start accumulating again. Okay, or add to your bags, right, depending on if you started to accumulate already or not. So you take a look at VChain, it pumped 100x in USD, right, between April, March, April 2020, right, in USD, right? But in BTC, it only pumped 10x. It only pumped 10x in BTC. Okay, it only pumped 10x, even though it pumped a lot, like 100x in USD. But against BTC, it did not outperform BTC like 20, 30, 40, 50x, right? That's why I keep saying, you just have to accumulate it, right? And once BTC breaks above all-time high, like right here back in November, right? And I said it clearly, it's time to be, heavy on BTC, on VChain. Right there, you can see like, it pumped 5x against BTC, right? So all right, here's Mia. We just talked about a CNX yesterday. CNS, not X. CNS USDT. Okay. Yeah, it is breaking the macro support. If you take a look at CNS, yeah, against BTC, it is a support, so I would just accumulate BTC. Right, and once we flip bullish above the 3D21, you know, start to add back to the position. But as of now, it is a support, right? We could get a macro you know, reversal to the upside. Okay, if we break the you know, the descending trend line resistance. Okay, we just don't know how long it'll take. Okay, it could take months, weeks, years, who knows. Okay, or even tomorrow it could pump. I know you will like that one. All right, guys, I'm just gonna keep it short. Okay, it's already 1 hour. All right, homie, thanks a lot for tuning in. We talk about ICP, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot. Be safe out there.